Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds, welcoming you back to Lovecraft Country and Cultist Simulator Tips and Tricks, the Exile, the Defiance run. Okay, so we finished what the basic run for the Cultist Simulator was last time, and that is known as the Evasion, or the Fugitive run, as I like to call it, in which your character's only purpose in existence is to escape alive. And like I said, that's the basic premise of the game. Or is it? Because you can take this game from an entirely different point of view. And that point of view is that you're not stealing the money from the Reckoner Lord just on a lark and running on impulse, because that would be foolish. No, what you're doing is you are going to be taking this money to lure him out and to kill him, because you want to kill him for a specific reason. Now, the thing is, there's an actual plot to this game. And you can, if you explore the game sufficiently, figure out what that plot is. I mean, the only plot that you're given is that you used to be a magical assassin who wanted to get out of the job, and your former associates are trying to kill you. No other backstory, and it's a basic story. You can run with it, but there is so much more in here, and I'm hoping to crack at least some of it. But I also wanted to say, by the way, we just passed 1,000 viewers on YouTube, and wow, that is awesome. I will go over any formal episode, or update really, about what that means, but suffice to say, it unlocked. Hello, Cotton. Yes, thanks. That's one of the reasons I do these, is because I realize that these games have a huge learning curve. And that learning curve, you know, when I went through it, really tore me apart. Now, I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to strategy games, so it doesn't bother me, but I thought other people might want a little bit more help. So at least get the idea of how the game works. Now, in this case, we'll be doing, like I said, the second type of run, which is called the Defiance run. Now, there's going to be actually a total of 7 different endings for the Exile, at least. I don't know if I'll get all of them, because some of them are really complicated, but the Defiance is the second easiest one to get. And, let's see, where are we? We need to... stuff from right. We'll have to skip directly to doing the Exile. Thank you, by the way. Play Legacy. Okay, so... again, we start off in an unknown location, the headquarters of the Reckoners, and of course we've got our stolen years, which of course is somehow life we've taken from another person and put into our thing. Like I've said before, it can't just be anybody's life, because otherwise it would be insanely easy to make this stuff. So it must be like 100 to 1, or the person has to be a magician. This is Exile DLC. It was the last DLC that was put out for the main game. And it is unlike all the others. Now, if you go back to the episode 1 on the run, I'll explain some of the differences. But suffice it to say, you're not playing a magician. You're playing an assassin who knows a little bit about a magic. And in this case, you've just stolen 77 of the... like, I'm not going to explain everything as we go along, as I've already explained before. You've sold 77 magical currency dollars, which can literally are the stuff of life. And they're not happy about that in the least. Now, this is your planning. You've got 1 train ticket to crack out. You've got 2 cash, which is basically a suitcase full of cash as far as I can tell. Let me get the pause going here. This gentleman is here trying to kill you because you've kind of made yourself a little obvious. 7 traces. And this is your wheel's turn. Now, the only advantage you have in this game compared to the base game is that you do not consume funds every time the cycle goes through. The second time the cycle goes through, you may have somebody catch up with you. Well, I should probably be leaving town, yeah. Krakow. It's actually one of my favorite places, but it's not a good place to start. We'll do what we can. Right then, unpause, and we pack our suitcase of cash, and we are gone. Now, if we can get out of here before he can get his first attack off, he can't get out, he will give us a wound. Not really an issue in the beginning, because you're pretty sure, since you're only carrying 1 suitcase full of cash, that you can get out. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this one, by the way, I'll let you know, is called the travel verb, or departure verb. I call it the travel verb. This is called the employ, which means use an object. And woo, he actually did get a hit on us. Wow, that's going to be combined with the first wound. I got distracted, unfortunately. Oh, nope, he didn't pull it off. We got out just as last second, which is good. But yes, this is a Defiance run in which we're going to attempt to kill the foe. Yeah, it isn't going to be easy, but try to do it on your terms, not their terms. Now, Yikwok has prepared a room for me in the attic. I'm too old to be murdered, he assures me, but case you can't see it. If they come for you, I'll hide under the table and cry. Yeah, he's an old man who we used to collect occult books for. Now, we do have the Church of St. Mazra the White, which contains the Blade of Winter. That is one of the runs we did the last run. But considering how soon we have, in fact, come in the game, it's virtually impossible to do. I would need 12 Winter to do this, pull this off sufficiently. Yeah, 12 Winter is the best way of pulling it off. You can do some other combinations, but maybe I should have gotten the damn wound, because each one would have been 4 Winter, and I could have possibly gotten through it. Sometimes you don't want to succeed the way you think you do, but... Let's see, let's get the rest out here. You really hope nobody comes for us while you're doing this opening thing, since it's all RNG. It is really possible to fail, to do nothing wrong and still fail. The first time I tried to do the alternate Ascension run, we'll get to that hopefully, is the fact that I got 5 out of the 7 requirements done and made no mistakes and still got my ass killed. Okay, yeah, the section of geography is having a little fun right now. Eesh. History, the thing is, if we start going to these cities over here, it's going to sound really familiar about what's going on right now. History is a flat circle. Now, first thing I'm thinking about is, what do we want to do? Now, the knife secret becomes a lot more important in the Defiance run. And we have a wound as well. Now, if we were going to do a standard run, fugitive run, oh, hang on a second. I decide what I'm going to call myself. And let's see. Ooh, it would be a good sort of vengeance kind of thing. I can think of as that terrible Sylvester Stallone film called Assassins. Alright, let's keep the name off. If you've got any ideas of what out there you want the name to be, please let me know. I can't think of a good assassin figure. I've got another one I do for I call the Comfort Run. That's the one I do for the Comfort Run. Yeah, that is literally the one I do, because it's the one you don't know if you're going to do a killing ending or a living the rest of your life in a mansion ending. But yeah, not that one. Okay, cheddar it is. Eesh, Sweeney Todd, Sweeney Todd stays in one place. That's the problem. We run around a lot. I do the Richard Kimball from the Fugitive, the original series, or the Harrison Ford film, whichever you want to do. We're gonna call it Cheddar for now. We are the lactose assassin. We murder lactose intolerant people with cheese. All right, so speaking of which, now we don't actually have to wait for that one to go through other material. Now, as per usual, we are definitely going to need money to do slideshow for anyone else. Sound is good. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Are you having issues with the lag? Because according to my end, my bitrate is pretty good. Okay, but we can start reconnoitering, and one of the things about the first place you go to is you usually end up sacrificing it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get cash, because we're going to need that. So we're going to raise cash hurriedly. That'll take 60 seconds, not 30 seconds there. And okay, they're not going to say, I can't tell what the connection is going to be. We're going to reconnoiter Krakow. Yeah, Krakow. Yeah, not that far. We're on standard motion at the time. But goof. Yeah, the wound's going to last us 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And like I said, we're not doing that. Ooh, sorry, dude. Right now I'm looking at, according to this, I have 27 frames going out. So looks like you've got some sort of slowdown from one end to the other, or my end to your end. Okay. Boom. All right. So, Grand Town House. Don't think so. When I'm playing, I usually run it at 1080p at 30 FPS, but right now I'm doing the same thing. If it gets really bad, guys, I'll bring it down to 720p. I'll have to pause the game to do it, but so you guys can see it a little better. But yeah, there's a Temptation Escape one. This is the Temptation that we used for the previous run. But what we want to do is first of all, we need to reconnoiter again to get as much as we can out of our little trip here. I'm going to go to the Knife Secret. This is where we start deviating from the original ones. All right. Okay, the deadliest of weapons. The knife's secret, of course, a 2-point lore, which we know off the top of our head because we've had to kill, like I said, we've had to kill magical people. We've had to use magic to do it. Not a lot of magic, a 2-point lore, but we did. Okay, no reckoner is ever foolish enough to pass into the higher levels of the Mansis. Now, the Mansis, if you recall, is the mystic place in the center of the universe where the Hours, what passes for gods in this universe, live. Reckoners are not liked by the Hours, probably because we're one of the few people who can assassinate Hours. If you think about it, they're not too happy about that. But yeah, to draw the attention of the True Long or their masters, which are the Hours themselves, would invite annihilation. But my foe has some traffic with the Hours of struggle and conquest. Those are, of course, the powers of Edge. I've referred to in my previous lore one the Colonel and the Lionsmith, which will become here. But there's also a third and older power of the Edge. He enjoys certain protections. Yes, our foe is technically immortal and cannot be killed by mortal weapons, which means that we have to figure out how we're going to do it. And we're about to ask, because you see, every time you have a patron, you're gonna that patron's gonna have an enemy, and that enemy is gonna want to take an advantage of their enemy's enemy. Yeah, we're not gonna be doing the townhouse. I don't think we have time to settle down, especially not in Krakow. I mean, I've got nothing against Krakow, it's just not where I'd want to spend the rest of my life. You know, Turkey's nice, but honestly, if I really wanted to settle and I knew about World War I was happening, I'd probably head to someplace in South America. Alright. That's our second cache, but also our first trace. So like I said, we're not staying here long. Alright, quiet warehouse. Again, I'm not in the real estate market. This isn't helping. Alright, but we do have our little bargain with the powers. Dangerous possibilities. Even my foes had weaknesses, but he guarded them carefully. Discover the distractions will work against your foe, and you'll be able to choose the most advantageous place to fight him. Now, this is an option you have when doing a Defiance run. Now, notice, first of all, we got a trace out of that. So there it is, our first trace. You always get a trace whenever you do this, but you also have Defiance Temptation. Temptation Defiance. Kaput karet kalapum, they used to say of outlaws. This is the time of division. Remember division, because division is important as Edge. We think of Edge as the power of violence, but in truth, what it is the power of division. Now, of course, dividing somebody in half kills them, which is kind of why it ends up being the martial one. But it also, when you use it for summoning spells and such, it's what it creates a circle that divides you from them and doesn't let them, jump you and kill you, which is why Edge is on so many of the summoning spells. Okay, but therefore it's got its use. Now, of course, you'll notice, by the way, it's got the exercise of Defiance. Cunning may answer strength. Strength may answer cunning, but how might we answer agony? As your Defiance rises, you'll gain the attention of the Edge Hours. Or technically, as I like to call them, the Edge Lords. That's terrible, I know, I'm sorry. If you reach a 7, you'll be able to achieve something unexpected. Now, we're not doing a Ascension run, so we're not going to be trying to increase that. We may do it accidentally. Yep, Desire. There's always a price. Some prices are worth paying, some are not. We are not trying to pay that particular price. Okay, so here we go. The other stuff we have is the unknown weakness. If I can uncover this weakness, it'll give me an advantage. All right, we've used distractions to counter attacks before. I haven't done a lot since we've done an invasion run. Terrible, not inaccurate. Not quite. Okay, so, oh, you mean the pronunciation. Kaput Greg Lapunum. Yeah, you also notice, by the way, that's the wolf and the dark sun behind it. The dark sun being a symbol of war and assassins. It is considered to be whereas the sun produces light, the dark sun consumes it. And if you recall from the previous lore asides I've done, the sun in rags devours life force to produce energy in magic. It's what we use primarily for the my ritual. My basic ritual I use, the one that requires having tears. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you all know it if you've seen one of my games, because I spam it constantly. Alright, so what are we going to do at this point? Now, we haven't gotten an issue with the traces yet. They're going to be on top of us before we know it, but I'm thinking we've got time to grab another cache, because we still have 48 seconds before they can even start looking for us. Meantime, we'll reconnoiter Krakow, and we'll communicate our next... Whoops. Oh well, I forgot to get a ticket out of town. This could be interesting, a lot more interesting than I want it to be. But we will get our idea of how to avoid being attacked, because we're not going for any obscurity. If we get obscurity, great, but we're not trying to escape. We're not trying to be not noticed. We are simply trying to learn how to fight. And to do that, I need weapons. I need cash to get them. But even for that, I have to get the possibility of getting weapons, which is annoying. Okay, so hopefully, yeah, there's the third trace. We'll have a fourth trace shortly. Holy Man connection. I doubt I'll need that, but let's keep it anyways. I could burn 2 cash and win that for an obscurity, but we're not doing the obscurity run, so it doesn't really matter. Meantime, we should probably learn how to get out. Yes, like I said, I should have remembered, but this is me doing my usual boneheaded beginning, which is again why we're moving at regular speed and not double speed. It has been, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks since I've recorded this? So I am rusty. It will all catch up quickly or I'll die and restart. And then I'll have all that practice behind me. And oh my god, 3 traces wasn't enough to get you guys to find me? I'm beginning to think you don't want to find me. Yeah, if you actually bribe the attackers, which you can do with decades, I don't bother because it's too expensive. Turns out they don't really like the big guy too. They're just terrified. All right, Donius the Baker has done well himself high-level connections in the Iron Wolf in Chaos. He never got on, but he owes me and I can't be fussy. Again, little Poland. I mean, little Paris in Poland. One of my favorite places in mid-game, but not at the moment. And we really don't have to leave. 47 seconds. We've got that option. Again, I could probably do cash. That's going to be pushing it, but I think I'm going to try it. It's early on. Having that much cash can be useful. And we can always bail early, as long as we can get this done. I think the 15 seconds it will have will be more than enough. Where are we? Yeah, we won't get the Sword of Winter, which is the best freaking weapon you can get in this run. Told you when I got it during the Fugitive run that I was totally going to have the never get it this run. I'm going to be stuck with like the magic feather and a pistol. All right, what do we got? Secluded villa. Good God, why are they trying to give me the freaking real estate market? All right, we might have time for one more, but I'm gonna guess we're gonna have to leave town rather quickly. We will get that last piece of cash, however. And will be one place where you can use the Baker in order to fend off our attackers, which is going to be interesting. You can use allies to block attacks. You can use weapons. You can even use your own technique. You can even use distractions to pick up from the area. That is all about defending off. But remember, even if we go off and start killing the flunkies, it's just not going to win the game for us. We have to. There you go. For cash, I don't think we should push it any further. Right, there's a distraction, for example. If we threw this distraction at an enemy, they would be delayed, and we could use that delay to do what we want. Now again, still nobody's showing up, which is kind of weird. Not complaining, mind you. 4 traces, they should be on top of me. And I've got a heights. If it does go wrong, I can toss at them. So, yeah, I do not, however, feel like I should be grabbing another cash. Getting more than 4 cash on your person is a little risky. Primarily, let's go fast speed. Primarily because it takes 40 seconds plus 20 seconds, 10 seconds on either side at the very least, which means you've got 60 seconds delay. Discreet office, oh my god, this is terrible. Again, whatever I need in any of these runs is not what I'm going to get, simply because this game hates anybody who plays it. I mean, that's supposed to. Tactical challenge is incredible there. I mean, we've got to the point where the foe could drop on us at this, and you're still not picking me up. Oh god, I should just buy the villa. Apparently you can't find me. Still connections. Now, let's see. Yeah, I'll just keep going. I really want to get a weapon. Don't expect it, but the rate where things are going. 6 traces. But you never know. I could always use more friends. And so many things I can't take with me. Alright, so what have we got? Last Underworld connection. Alright, I think we're done here. Because, I mean, technically I should just keep pushing this. I mean, the moment I get... It should be when the 16 seconds rolls around, I will start the exit at that point. Because they will start ejecting the informant, which is the first level of the Reckoners. The first ones that are going to... Yep, there it is. Alright, so what I will do is I've got enough time, I think, to see what this is. Then we bail. Medical credentials. Oof. It's possible to get this early in the game. That's actually not a bad thing. Official connections. Pay for it with the official connections. Oof. It's going to be quick, though. 10 seconds. Go. Do this. And boom. Now, what we'll do is we will grab this, grab the official connections in order to give us the medical license. That's only 10 seconds, so we can start leaving for a little. Paris, or kind of Kausnus. Kausnus. What is the modern name for that? Is it still called Kausnus, or am I like, does this get renamed after World War II? Right, now we have the medical license. Now we just need the ability to use it, but something to have this early in the game isn't bad. And again, usually much better for the fugitive run. As you can see, they're getting onto us pretty fast. And away we go. Lithuania now. Oh, it's just got broken up after War II? Or is it still? Or is this Lithuania exist in 1925? So much of the map get rewritten. Alright. I've arrived. Dominax, the baker, is already smiling, an unfortunate habit of picking his teeth. 6 winter. Now, in order to get him, we need to get through the mission that he's going to give us. But before we get that mission, let's not make the same mistake we did before, and immediately get the exit strategy. Yeesh, wake up. Okay, so we'll send a discreet message from here. Now with him, discreet, okay, so this is a movable object. We will be able to do that, and hopefully be able to do that. Now, right, I gotta double check one thing, because I do not remember off the top of my head everything that is required for doing his mission. Cosmos, this mission is the caper. Lantern, moth, knock, winter 12. Ugh, it's almost impossible for me to do this one. Even if I've got 10 winter here, I need to get 10 winter. Oof, the lantern and 6 knock. I've got 4 knock. It's possible. If we get the right items, we can do this. But we also just have to get the right items. But let's see where we're going first. Right. Yeah, it is in Lithuania. We do have Lithuania in 1925. I should probably know that. I mean, the thing is right now I'm watching the excellent Time Ghost Army Rostock that will give us, that'll give us a decent run when it comes to the, yeah, Count Jennings has a house there. We can use our wound. We can definitely make money. And in the meantime, let's talk to him about getting a caper, just in case, because we always could use more friends. If you keep him with us, he's a combatant, so he'd be useful in holding off the enemy while we're getting our arses kicked. And we'll reconnoiter at the same time. We're getting the usual pattern of, there we go, Skyrus 2. Skyrus 2, going to need 6 knock, but we can do this with a cash. If I recall properly, yep, 2 cash. Plus the 4 knock for a wound, the 4 plus his 6. Yeah, we're only 2 away from being able to do that caper. So we have to get the right distraction or item here. I mean, if we get something like snow, for example, that will work. But again, if we're going to do a defiance run, we're definitely going to need a weapon. All right, trace already. Faith. Faith, unfortunately, is the wrong one. I mean, it's a decent distraction, as it will throw people off, but again, we got that one trace. I want to replace the cache. I mean, we're going to be able to get that one off, at least, that we used up. Once we get to Janning's place, we should be able to replenish our cache rather quickly. But just in case, because you never know when it's going to be problematic. Freezing winds. Ooh, you're doing it to me, aren't you? Freezing winds plus Domiask plus my wound and I think a cache. We can actually do this. Question is, should we? Should we take the risk of bringing him in? And I say yes. Yes, we should. So, first things first. We're going to start the caper. And the resource we're going to put in is Dumbass, because I keep calling him Dumbass. Dom. We're going to call him Dom. Dom is going to be the asset we put in, because assets we put in here and have to leave behind, we lose. Since he's the thing that we're trying to get, really come down to it, it's the oh, there we go. I got the informant already, because of course we don't need to do it. Because we've got that, we'll lose him, and I don't think anybody really cares if we lose him if I can't get him already. He's got 6. So the first obstacle is going to require 2 knock, and I'll tell you what, I don't really care if I lose the wound. In fact, I can't lose the wound. It's ridiculous. Boom, more cash. Boom. Alright. 2 traces, 2 cash, throw the wound in, so that'll get us back. All the wounds are doors, get us through the first obstacle, which as you see requires only a knock. And again, we're not risking any of our precious resources. Second, get that back in place. Alright. And let's see. Since we've got you looking already, we might as well just keep looking. Because traces are already in play. We are essentially just trying to make it through without an issue. Now, reinforcements, we'll have an assassin or an agent here shortly. And let's see if we're going to be able to take him. Because we've got the faith, which is the distraction I do not need for this particular run. Got the trace, an official connection. That might come in useful if we have an agent we have to deal with. Alright, so, and boom. Let's keep going for resources, see if we can get that damn weapon. Alright, boom. Okay, so we've made that. Another complication is coming up. That will put the freezing... Okay, that we have to put the cash in. Now, that's going to be a risk. We need 6, and that's going to give us... Right. We're basically going to be bribing our way into the facility. And we keep going. We'll need the freezing winds for the last part, which will last long enough, which is good. What do we have? Search, probably an assassin or agent. Which one have we got? And boom. Yep, I need to use a connection. Fortunately, I have one. And we'll be able to do that. Be able to get it in time since it only requires 10 seconds. Now the knight... Ooh, we can use that one instead. Doesn't really matter. Either distraction will work against a standard attack. But first things first, let's put in the connection. Now, while we're doing that, boom, calling in a favor. Basically, I'm calling the cops on a known criminal. I'm going to also simultaneously grab the only thing I have, the Knight's Secret. This is basically my ability to use martial arts. At the same time I'm sending the cops to kill him, I'm going to try to ambush him with my martial arts and snap his neck. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but this is where we're at right now. Now, if I threw a weapon at 2, I'd have a 100% chance of getting this wound off on him and killing him. But without a weapon, I only have a 70% chance with my bare hands. So, yeah, that's where we are right now. And, of course, I have distractions if it comes to that. So, boom, there we go. If you can come back here, please. Yeah, a trail of blood. The cops wounded him. We need 2 wounds to kill him. 2 wounds to kill most reckoners, 4 kills an underboss. So we've got 1 down here. And we've got... Can we finish him off? Palpable hit. I've struck and fade back in the city, which means that when we complete this, he will be dead. That... Boom. Unfortunately, we have a reckoner's... Yep, pause, please. We have a reckoner's corpse, which is given an ingredient, 2 grail, and 2 winter. Proof of victory. It can be used for several things, by the way. For example, if... There we go. Reckoners aren't immortal. We only buy years and sell them. If they ever need proving, I've proved tonight. Dispose my pursuer, but morally on their way. Trace. Increases our trace because obviously we kind of admitted that we're here. Now, one of the things we can do with the Reckoner, which is kind of fun, is that we could, if this was up and going, I could use it. It cannot be exhausted to put in here, but if I put it here, you can actually sacrifice a Reckoner's corpse to the gods of war and get a boost. But since I use the Knife's Secret to do so, and it's going to take that long to be able to get it up, and I've still got, of course, too many traces going here, we're going to do the other thing. We're going to put the Reckoner's corpse in, and then we're going to put in Defiance, celebrate my victory. The hours of struggle and conquest acknowledge victories. I can offer this trophy to increase their standing in my eye. Okay, so I will basically go out into the wilderness and sacrifice his corpse to the gods of war. And night deepens. There we go. We've used this. We're going to pass it and get Dom up and going. We've got Faith going, so we'll renew as well, so we'll be able to pull this off, which is awesome. And you got to see, of course, my first kill, which is kind of cool. But yeah, basically I got the cops to raid his safe house, shoot him up, and then I waited in the alleys and ambushed him. Which is, you know, kind of how it should go. And then think of the next poor bastard who got sent out here. Well, we're kind of sorry. Boom. Got the maggot spice, which is good, but we gotta wait 120 seconds if we want to get him. And we might be able to pull this off, because we have got the faith distraction. Should be reconnoitering. Should have done that early, kept that up going, but I got distracted, unfortunately. Distractions will kill you in this game. And once he becomes reset a bit, yeah, there we go. Reinforcements are 49 seconds going. 3 cash. We're not really doing much there. 4 traces, insane. 5 might get us the foe. But, you know, it's what is. There's only... Life has risks. Celebrate my victory. In the hour when the day battles night and the many winged ones descend to judge my prize, which are the Furies, I believe. Or, no, actually, those are the bronze winged ones that are the messengers of Mars in Greek mythology. I remember this now. And they celebrate, they're called the Din of Battle, that was it. They celebrate the confusion, war, and battle, the bloodlust that we all feel, and, you know, that sort of thing happens. They only leave scraps of bone and hanks of hair, and apparently they'll just take it. Now, why did I do that? Because I just got my Defiance up to 2. Now, insanely, Aspect defeated a record and granted the trophy, which means I can't do the same thing again. But yeah, insanely, I may actually pull off a Ascension run without you know, really meaning it. But hey, we'll deal. Okay, so again, we're just waiting for you, Dom, anytime. Connection with the Holy Man. We may have to pull this thing again. Oof, while we're waiting, no, I'm not going to break the Stolen Year down, the Stolen Decade down. It's too risky to do so right now. Will, however, drop you in for the next run. I don't think I'm going to go without a single year. So, next run, we'll definitely have to break down the decade to get our singles back. Hard to make change. Alright, Standard Assassin. We can deal with this. Oh my god, the Wolf Divide Shadow. Whew. That's the problem. Don't think I can do this in Lithuania, and Gaznos, but I can. This would have been perfect for a different type of Ascension run. But as you can see, it's a decent 6-edge, 6-winter. It's the scent which is neither tar nor blood or ozone. The Wolf Divide's rage blows with air. Now, I told you there were 3 powers that are, well, acknowledged, modern ones anyways, of Edge. The Wolf Divided is the earlier one. It is one that came from the Death of the Sun. Is literally Fenrir, the dire wolf whose job is to devour the sun. So his job to devour the sun and the world when it is too wounded to go on, which is why he's running around, because as you may or may not know, within the context of the game, this is the apocalypse. The sun has been mortally wounded, and we have to... This game is partially about dealing with that concept. Because when the gods die, new gods need to be born. Alright, yeah, you're still summoning more reinforcements. Woof. Come on, Dom, I need you to get over yourself. Apparently, I love the fact that it shows that his downtime is him eating. Rigid Villa, seriously, what? Okay. And there we go. Search, a minor Reckoner Lord has entered, which is problematic. But, there you go. Honey Cake is still short its full potential. Good. Grab that, okay? 10 seconds going. You're fine. We're leaving now. You don't mind? We got stuff to do. There we go. Hostile moves, attacking me directly. So what we want to do is we drop Faith in. That's a distraction. They basically run into a church, and they're kind of hesitant about killing in a church. You know, they're not sure if God exists or not, and because they know the hours exist, they know how to deal with them, but there we go, we have an ally, which is what I wanted. They just don't want to take chances. Remember, some of the churches we go to in this game have actual beings behind them, the eldritch abominations, as they were, the hours or other entities that are worshipped by multiple names. So therefore, nobody really wants to take a chance. Boom, there it is. My perfumer stymie. The Reckoner is traditionally wary. Cherry? Wary! Oh, God. Somebody's editor failed. I've used that to slip away. All right. So yeah, basically he ran through a church and he's like, not sure I want to do that. And we are gone. All right, Domus. All right. So we pop into arrival. Jennings' staff is told to expect me and welcome her as long as I like. We have the townhouse, and the townhouse is important because it is both a place, when you have a medical license, it's a place that has 4 heart, which means that you've got enough heart, unfortunately, which I don't, you can actually use it for it. But unfortunately, this early in the game, we don't have that, which is a pain. You could generate, but what you can do, I can generate comfort. Basically, since this thing's got 4 comfort, that means we can generate 4 of the contentment, which are 2 heart and 2 lantern. Now now we can only use 2 of them before they run out. We can also do it again, so we can try to spam this. Now the way to spam it is to have the 4, 2 that you launch in the second time makes 8, and then do it again and grab 2 more. So here we go. Let's give it a whirl. Now we're not going to reconnoiter why this happens, simply because we are, however, going to remember to freaking get our exit strategy going, because we don't want to attract attention. At the same time, while we're doing this, we'll break the decade down into 10 individual ones. Let's see, and see what we can do. All right, first things first, our next port destination is Amsterdam. Again, too early for one of the alternate runs, but it exists, so therefore we'll deal with it. And let's see how this is going to work. All right, so broke down the decade, have 11 and 6, total of 71. So we're doing pretty good, standard run for the sort of scenario. And then, boom. Now, as you notice, we now have 4 contentment. What we want to do is immediately, and I mean immediately, roll around, put in medical credentials, put in the location, the townhouse, which is 4 heart, put in a contentment, which is going to be... Oh, stolen year. Whoops. First of all, put it in the year so we can activate it. Now, when it rolls around in another 5 seconds, what we want to do is immediately, as we get the option here, throw in one of the contentment. And then sanatorium. Now this means that we're using the medical license to pretend that we can treat mental illness, because at this point in history, everyone treating mental illness is pretty much making it up as they go along, and most of them are charlatans. But that gives us 6 heart, which is going to notice is more than enough for the 4, that's Grail, for the 4 heart required for this. Now, the great thing about the sanatorium is that, or medical license in general, is that you cannot gain, you can only generate obscurity. Now, obscurity is just going to be an edge to get us out of here if absolutely necessary. So, again, I told you everything would line up for the Defiance run in the, there you go. Delight in Starters, we'll bring it up to 8, so we'll pass the next one. And then we're going to drop down, hopefully, get another hit. Now the thing is with the contentment here, 41 seconds, is I cannot renew it. And given that I used that, may have goofed up a little, but because I'm hoping I get the other 2 in, but I just realized I'm not going to be able to as they're going to decay. Again, rusty. But that means there's going to have to go out looking for stuff. Now, at the very least, we're just going to blow it and possibly get a trace. But secluded villa. And the problem is it's not being able to have cash to throw in there. Try again. If I can get something, it's cool. If I can't get something, like I said, I just fail. In the meantime, we're going to continue to see if we can get something else. Again, it's a rough start. And like we did before, we may not be able to pull this off. The Grand Townhouse cost 4, which I cannot do at this time. Try again. Doesn't have a heart, unfortunately. That would make it a 10. Like I said, we may fail this one the first time around, unless I choose... No, I can't choose to do that. Unless I get really lucky on this draw. Again, it's a way to show you how you're supposed to do it. If you know. I could, but... Full possibilities. Official connection. If I remember, official connection might be able to get... I don't think so. I think it's Grail instead of Heart, though. Oh well. Anyways, Rostock again. This run is becoming a lot weirder than I thought it would be. Okay, so there's the failure point. Now there's a small chance that it will succeed without hand. Operation continues, come and go. Right, we passed the 8. Alright, so night. Night actually will work for us because we want to take night, put it in here, start this, and give us the temptation escape. Now we're using the temptation escape for thoughts of peace. It'll give us a 4-point, there you go, a 4-point heart called tranquility. 4-point heart, 4-point winter. Now if you put in a defiance one, you get 4-point heart, 4-point edge, but you can't leave town while it's happening. So instead we'll just put the tranquility in, brings us up to the 12 we need for the next one, and we're actually going to make the monies, which is always cool, but we've got 1 trace as a result. That is a problem. Now, unless I'm choosing to use up some serious funds in order to fix that, we're probably going to end up having to bail relatively soon. But at least we got 1 of these hits out, which is actually kind of good. But yeah, I should have gotten sure I could do this beforehand, but if we had let the trace hit there for this long by getting it that way, we kind of would end it up with, there we go, operation continues, boom, should be able to do fine after that, and boom. Now, since we already got, there we go, operation complete. See you next year. Yes, we just used our happy feelings, contentment, and of course the tranquility, and the power of the heart to be able to cure people's minds, or at least make them feel better. Operation complete. Invisible artworks are in water. You treat the facility. You not only avoided the risk of traces, but gathered an obscurity. You have an obscurity and a trace, which is always kind of a weird combo. But as you can see, we got tranquility out. Back. We got our contentment back. I mean, theoretically, we can do this again and again and again. The sanatorium paying off. There's the townhouse. There's the medical credentials, obscurity, and 4 cash. Now, 6 cash is awesome, but of course, it's got the same problem as the fact that we have 1 trace here we need to get rid of. We can't use obscurity to cancel it out because that would just be too easy, unfortunately. And if we choose to stay here for another run, we'll be risking the medical credentials itself. Plus, I don't think I need that much cash, and we've got to get to Amsterdam. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to press our luck and attempt to find something in Rostock before we're forced to leave. Again, a weapon would be lovely. Thanks. Just 1 or 2 to actually do some killing. There we go. There's the informant. Oh, freezing winds. Yeah, I can imagine. Lithuania's a bit cold in the winter. Rostock. There you go. Again. Now, since we're going to be having to leave rather... it's going to take a while for us to leave. Probably at least 1 minute 20 seconds. We want to not linger. Thinking, we may actually... See, the informant will bring 1 person in. We can take Amsterdam, whatever this is. We can give it 3 seconds. And, yeah, the C. I know. And you notice that it's the Defiance run. It's the one I need weapons in. I mean, I was hauling around 4 weapons the last run. Which is, and I told you when I did that, I wasn't going to be able to find a single goddamn pistol in this version. But, yeah, we are, Marines, we are leaving. Actually, no. If you've got 2 distractions, we might be able to pull off 1 more round in Rostock, because we have 1 distraction. We do also have the official connection, if absolutely necessary. So, yeah, we'll make 1 more run of Rostock and see if we can get another weapon. We still have the obscurity. They have to take 30 seconds to burn when we get here, so I think we're fine. Quiet warehouse. Again, I don't need real estate. We've got 2 distractions now. Reinforcements are getting called in. I think the moment... Yeah, we leave the moment we figure out what this is, and then we see what we've got enough distractions. I think we can see what happens. May even need the official connection, but we may not. In any case, the cash is going to come in handy. Speaking of which, do I have anything portable? Yes, that is definitely what I want. We may have changed which run this is. Boom. Give me the 2 payment for that, of course. Boom. And then we begin to leave. No, we're not leaving until I have that in my hand. I've had too many objects disappear on me. Of course, I should do that. Why we're going to stay around anyway. All right. So now we have rarity. Green is remembered rain. An oil painting of fine horizon in green and gold and glory. It is an object of, it is, of course, an asset. It is portable, something we can take with us. 4 grail, worth 2, we just spent in it. It's a pentiment. Now, we've got a pentiment, we're going to Amsterdam. We may have just changed our trajectory entirely, which is, I suppose, one of the reasons we might have picked Cheddar. You know, Cheddar's not really the right name for a Defiance run. But, yeah, that just changed everything. Literally everything in this run. Okay, this is kind of how I keep the things organized. Allies, stuff you don't need to pack, stuff that's on you and temporary, stuff you're carrying. And usually the stuff down here is the stuff that will dissolve once we leave. Like the townhouse, everything else like that. I've always tried to sell the damn townhouse. It won't let me. I mean, I understand it would upset the Jennings. Well, I didn't, unfortunately, know Cheddar that well. Yes, he always was defiant. But apparently he's the ending that comes with what the Amsterdam and the painting may open up for us actually has to do with cats. It's fabulous in an indirect way. But in the meantime, yeah, we should probably leave. Amsterdam. The cash on their way. And boom, there we go. You do not want to lose that painting. They may come after our assets, and that would be bad. In fact, if I pull the cache up, yeah, not the credentials. Yep, there's the obscurity. That's going to guard us. I don't need an import license. With the C, it would have been cool, but unfortunately, no. We're just going to leave. And there's the painting. And our obscurity protects us from, you know, this dude trying to whack us. And we're gone. Alright, so let's see, arrival. The Stenga twins are out of town. Steganaga twins are out of town, perhaps not coincidentally, and their many-windowed house is empty, but their major domo has a message for me. They've asked one of the more influential clients to help me out. Now, these are people that we worked with. We're given an official connection, you know, always good. Plus, of course, our gear that we brought with us. And you're gone. Boom, here we are. Now, this is going to determine what happens next. If I can get the right event to occur here, we are going to unlock one of the more obscure endings. One of the Ascension endings. Not the typical Edge Ascension ending, but the Moth Ascension ending. Which is an interesting one to pull off here. Okay, we have the official connection, so you're there. Yeah, because we have what's called the Pentiment. Pentiment. I'm sure somebody will correct me. So that would allow us to be able to activate that. Again, you have to have at least one of these, and you need 7 of them to get that option, which basically means we'll be getting a lot of cash. We do have the medical license. We do have the official connection, which if we have enough, ooh, we almost have enough. We have, if we get 12 of the Grail, we can pull off, we can pull off the medical license thing anytime we want to, as long as we have a location that's large enough, because Relocation is going to have at least 2 heart in it. So we have options here. Now, if we're going to go for that ending, that means we're immediately going to stop trying to do the killing thing. I mean, granted, we did sacrifice a guy to the gods of war, but we can just consider it to be a full mistake. Also, by the way, we also have 1 comfort if we're trying to do that sort of ending. Down here it's recorded. You can see sometimes the game will actually remove the cursor. We have 1 comfort. Now, to get an alternate ending for a regular run, you need at least 20 comfort. Now, the easiest way to do that is get 12, and then to get a townhouse, or so secluded villa, which gives another 8 comfort, 20. Again, I don't think we'll be pulling that off when we're doing this. You never know. And that also allows us to generate at least anytime 1 contentment, which of course is a 2 art to lantern. So we've got a lot of options here. And originally I was going to kill the guy and, the foe and get that ending. But if we can open up the moth ending, we're going that direction. So gonna have to change the title of this episode. If you're watching this on the YouTube side, obviously you've already seen that, but maybe it'll be The Path Not Taken. We'll see. Anyways, this is probably where we're going to be ending the episode because, yeah, we're at the 56-minute mark, and I usually don't like to record more than 1 hour because of how long it takes to process, but I hope you did enjoy it. This has probably been the most I've seen of viewers here. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of you out there. Hello. Hope you enjoy what you saw so far. Again, like I said, sometimes this game, because it's less controllable than the base game, will take you in directions you don't mean to go. And we're only, of course, 6 away from the 75 follower mark. We'll be doing a 2-hour marathon, which will probably be 2 episodes of whatever game that you select, because the Twitch individuals will be the ones selecting the game through a vote. You'll check your whispers when you do that. And then, excuse me. And then we're going to go with it. Now, of course, also, if you're on the YouTube side, like, share, subscribe. And if you really like it, there will be links in the Gumroad payment platform in the description down below where you can become a supporter and unlock additional episodes both for yourself, exclusive ones, and start unlocking episodes for the everyone else, because we've hit the second stretch goal, and that means 2 bonus episodes a month, the content of which is selected by the supporters. And of course, it helps expand this channel and helps bring about the inevitable digital apocalypse, as I like to call it. In any case, I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you next time. And yes, thank you so much, guys, for 1,000 viewers. I never thought I'd get there. I remember I was going over one of the older videos, and one of the longtime viewers of the channel here said, congratulations, you're getting 70 subscribers. And I was like, at that time it was awesome, and I never thought I'd make 4 digits, but thank you. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye.